What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and with me tonight, it's the stats man, Chris Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey. The last 7 NBA seasons, 6 of the last 7 NBA champions eliminated Jimmy Butler at some point during their playoff run to win the title. The only time that didn't work out was 2022 when Boston beat Miami, but then lost to Golden State in the finals. So,
wow,
it happens, man. You gotta go through Jimmy in order to win in order to win it.
Title goes through Jimmy, and the grass seed goes through Joey. The lawn boss, Joey Bukowski. Get that, Joe.
That makes it sound like I eat grass seed, and that's just
I'm sorry.
Runs
buddy.
right through me.
I thought I could do it, and I came up short tonight. I'm sorry, boys.
It's all fine.
But where we will not come up short is a great podcast. We have a fun one tonight. Obviously, we have 2 conference finalists in the book, and we have 2 series that are up in the air. Is that where we're going for?
They're undecided.
They're undecided. Undecided up in the air. Are they, though? It's great. Great debate pre-pod. It's fun.
You sure about that?
You sure about that?
I'm going to leave. I'm
Joey's
over
going to leave. Joey's going to leave. But I think it's funny.
No me gusta.
No me gusta. The shirt, it does not work. We might have some Nuggets Thunder reaction based on what's happening here in the game. I don't know. No game talk. And then, of course, we got to talk. I guess it's been a while since we potted, so we probably talk some Tatum injury and obviously the NBA draft lottery results, which had the NBA world abuzz. So, but with that, let's get into it. Pacers, Wolves. I guess we'll start with the Wolves here, man. Your Wolves making the second straight conference finals. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that like that. Joe, Chris is
I guess for the first time in the history of this poor-ass city franchise, they have not had a championship. They're the only major city to not win a championship in this decade. They haven't won since 1991. Guys, we're all in diapers in 1991. Like, it's so stupid how miserable this city has been. They're the most miserable 4 major franchise city in all of sports. I just want to set the scene here. The day is July 6th. 2022. Do you guys remember where you were when that day happened? On that day?
No.
It was the day that Rudy Gobert got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was the day that changed everything.
We're going way back here.
Wow.
People are still wondering, was it a good trade for the Timberwolves? Did the Utah Jazz actually win out Utah in that trade? Let's just revisit real quick. Patrick Beverley, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Leandro Bolmaro, and Walker Kessler. And so far, the draft pick, there's been 3 other draft picks. One of them still Keontae George. Another one's going to be decided right now. So, I don't know. I feel, and another thing, that Gobert is the only player, or between Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, and Embiid, Rudy Gobert is the only one to make 2 conference finals. Embiid and Don haven't even made 1.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a pretty good trade. I think we can say that now, and I'm just really happy. So, I don't want to take up everything. How are you guys feeling? Do you guys feel? What's your thoughts on that?
Joey, go ahead, man. Are you excited for the Wolves? Were you excited?
And now you're Chris. I'm okay. Thanks.
Okay. Joey saw some things pre-pod, but it's okay. He's okay. He's recovering.
Yeah, a little scarred. Changed the friendship.
Oh my gosh.
Things made sense finally. Yeah. Is it Rudy or do we need to give some love to Orange Julius? Because
oh wow. I thought we were going a different way.
He's been pretty consistent.
Balling.
He has been a super solid second option and maybe even a first option in a few games here and there, but did the Wolves win this trade? Like, can we definitively say that
yes,
the up and downness of Cat in the playoffs? I mean,
I feel pretty
better
confident
in New York,
yeah.
but he's been better in New York. But as a Timberwolf, right, there was a lot of heartbreak, but also a lot of success. But we haven't seen that from Randall yet.
Despite all the butterfingers you might see from our beloved center, the defense cannot be denied. It's just watching Jimmy Butler try to get into the paint when Rudy Gobert is on the court is hysterical because he just dribbles around, gets under the basket, and goes back to the outside.
Me and Chris both did the same thing. We immediately thought of the Rudy Gobert trade, and Joey was talking about Randall trade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That one I think is I think that's still undecided. We got to see what happens with the Knicks. Their series is still up in the air.
If the Knicks make it to the Eastern Finals, that's the first time in 25 years. And that's that's the best win-win trade we've ever had.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Yeah, I guess it's not saying that they won the trade, but this was a necessary piece for them that they needed. They needed another consistent scoring option, and after some back and forth all season, it finally seems like he's found his groove, and he's been good.
Yeah, he's been good. Figured it out.
He's been pretty
Chris,
good.
maybe go to you here for this. Do you think the Wolves are in the same position if they don't make that trade?
Honestly, at this point, no.
Okay, because I'm actually I'm with you. I don't know if they've.
It's so funny, like how we were talking about this like 2 weeks ago. I remember we've done pods where we're like, man, if they had Cat, I'd be feeling so much better right now. But the decision making that Julius Randle makes is leaps and bounds above what you see from Cat. Even still, New York fans are still annoyed by Cat making the same Cat mistakes.
Yeah, crazy fouls over there in New York.
Oh, it's so dumb what happens with him. But Randall, dude, I mean, he had a triple-double. It's like
in the playoffs.
It's in the playoffs. It's so great. It's so funny to like see that happen to a team that you root for because you see it happen. You're like, oh yeah, that just happens, whatever. But when you see it happen with your guys, it's like, wait, he did? No way. Like, this does happen to like this happens to people I root for. This is kind of cool. So
you're on cloud 9, is what you're saying.
Has your confidence grown after the Warriors series, or are you still kind of the same feeling as you were after round one? Because I know there was no Steph, right? It was pretty much the Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green show. So did you get a lot out of that? They finished it in 5. I think if they had gone to 6 or 7, I would have been a little more concerned. But it feels like they're like they're in the driver's seat. They're getting they're growing up, right? They're not playing with their food is the term everyone keeps using. It's so different than last year. This time last year, I remember I was so elated when they beat the Nuggets, and that was just to get to the position they are right now, right? This year it just feels like all right, they got there. I think Rudy said his stomach is not full. Which I don't know if that's translated to French, that sounds cooler than it does in English, but still I love, it makes sense. He said it. It sounds great. We get what he's trying to go for here. So my stomach is not full.
I'm excited. And they match up well against OKC and Denver. Not to say they'll probably still be underdogs against either opponent.
Yeah. But... I mean, we could talk predictions here in a little bit too, but I think it was obviously the Steph injury plays a part. I mean, 13 minutes of Steph looked really good, but you have to beat who's in front of you. Same thing with the Celtics last year. That everybody that was in front of them had an injury or something going on. So you get through the road. I do think they're in good shape as far as being going to be rested. Not too banged up going into a potential OKC or Denver series. So I like it for them, and I think it's a good shot. I think definitely one thing I want to ask you guys before we move on to the next topics after we talk about these two teams is which one do you think has the best chance to get out? I mean, if Minnesota ends up going up against OKC, that's the best team in the NBA, man. But I think that's going to be a great series either way. So we'll see what happens.
I'm not ready to do which one gets out. I'm trying to think about which one would I rather see, and I kind of feel like the SGA Anthony Edwards show would be like must-watch TV.
Yeah, I think so too.
So from like Chet, like we can get there at some point, but he needs some weight room time. He needs to get on the Giannis diet and figure out how to bulk up because I haven't been overly impressed, and I feel like
he looks a little soft.
I feel like Nas, there'd be some. Oh man, Nas getting over on Chet would just be a fun time.
Just smear that guy all over the court.
He would smear him all over the back.
Randall would just drag him down,
put him in the
Rudy.
rim, right?
That's a tough matchup, man.
Rudy's about the same.
I wonder. I think we're maybe getting ahead of ourselves here, but I'm even thinking of all right. Okay, best team in the league, but Minnesota's been there. You know what I mean? Like they've been there. They were there last year. They remember what it takes. So I don't think they're going to be surprised by the lights or anything like that. So
did Minnesota just like totally big brain this all season long? Like, yeah, we're just gonna lay low. We're just gonna let everybody fight at the top, and we're just gonna come in, middle of the pack, and then just remember that we're really good and just get after it. Because they look like a different basketball team so far, right? Like they're not the same.
I think they just figured it out. I think they figured out what they wanted to do, and it clicked at the right time, which is sometimes all you have to do, just get hot.
They've won 30 of their last 36 games.
It's wild.
It's insane.
Yeah,
this team seems awesome.
Another good team that we weren't sure was a good team, I guess, that nobody believed was a good team. The Indiana Pacers. What the hell, guys? They beat the Cavs in 5. This is crazy, man. Joey, we'll start with you here on this. I mean, what was your thoughts on it? Halliburton looks ridiculous. This is just mind-blowing, I think. I mean, some injuries on Cleveland, but
yeah, sorry, India was not familiar with your game.
Yeah.
And Chris said it best last week, and he's like, they've got like 4 players, but they're comprised of like 8 or 9 guys. Like they've meshed everybody into this little weird monster. I guess I also kind of forgot how good like Pascal Siakam is.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been there, he's done it.
Yep.
Like he's a max player, and he's got some size, and he's a good shooter, and he's pretty darn consistent. Halliburton decided his little. I don't know. Did you guys see like a story came out about him in the beginning of the season that he was dealing with some like mental health struggles, and he really was struggling to like go to practice and show up for games. Like it was just all up in his head. I guess he was really like he was struggling coming out of the Olympics with dealing with people saying like, why he didn't play and yada yada yada. But so he kind of credited. He didn't come out right and say it, but he was kind of alluding like, some of my struggles being in the season, we're kind of getting through that and figuring out like, got to the conference finals, went to the Olympics, didn't play. Now I'm back here again. And just wasn't jiving. Once they got it figured out, like I didn't watch them and think that they were. I was thinking the whole time, how are they how are they playing better than Cleveland right now? Like, how are they putting this together? And then you just look over at Cleveland, and it was like, man, was Cleveland that good, or are there some holes here that just were kind of being masked in the regular season, and then when it came playoff time, like. Was Jared Allen just a disappearing act again?
Yeah.
And
Garland,
right, missing games with the toe injury. Max Strus going 0-9. That made me so happy. I hate that guy.
Like Max?
I can't stand him. And then I
love it.
Like Miles Turner on the Pacers was so consistent. Like they were just the epitome of consistency. And like every time there was a run from Cleveland, it seemed like the timeout was perfect. The next play out was just cooked to perfection. Carlisle completely outcoached.
Atkinson.
Thank you. I was going to say Bickerstaff. I was like, that's the Pistons. Kenny Atkinson made them look mortal. Made Donovan Mitchell look like he had to do everything himself, and he was worn out and completely, out of gas by the time that it came, clutch time. And I don't know, what happens in the next round. Because still kind of have this feeling of like, was this the kind of same thing that they did last year where they kind of, shocked and surprised, and then it finally caught up to them.
Yeah.
But like they've got some difference makers that seem to kind of have clicked, like you said, with like Timberwolves, like it finally just kind of clicked for them, and it's all firing on all cylinders just at the right time.
Yeah. And I think whoever they may get in the next round, because it's undecided. I think they're a scary team for anybody. I really do. They might be the epitome of them and like the Wolves of that whole no weak link, where they just don't have anybody on their in their rotation that's just a negative, offensively or defensively, that anybody can exploit. And like you said, it's just consistent. Chris, your thoughts on Indiana making it again to the conference?
I want yes. Sorry, before I talk about Indiana, with Cleveland all season we were just like, what is this team? And we were always questioning it. And Just Max Strus. Joey apparently hates this guy. I had no idea. But do you guys hear that thing about the group text?
Yeah.
I heard this. Yeah.
I thought it was like what was it exactly? If you don't
forget exactly.
If you don't want to,
if you're not willing to try, or if you don't believe, don't show up to work today.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and I mean, he tried. Right, he just went 0 of 9.
He should have stayed home. Would have been better.
He could have. I don't know.
You can't do that. Crazy that 0 of 9.
How did that come out so fast? Like that was like literally after the game. The announcer was saying that text. Like, how did he get it that quickly?
He seems like the kind of guy who walked in and said, "Hey, I sent this text message to everybody. Told him to get fired up. We're ready."
Yeah, maybe that's
as he puts his headband on to hold his hair back.
I think that is rough.
I think you go 0 for 9. That text gets leaked real quick.
That's true.
If there was anybody in that group chat that was like,
Tristan Thompson's over there in the corner, like, dude, this fucking clown.
This clown. And then he's bricking everything. Like, you know what? Here's Shams.
And then Ty Jerome, man. That dude, he lost more money in 4 games. That's the most games the fewest games I've seen somebody lose so much money since Sam Darnold with the Vikings when they went 15-1 and then just bombed in the playoffs. Football reference, I get it. You guys don't. Anyways, 0. Ty Jerome, though, man, he was 1 of 10 in one game. Then he played like 8 minutes, and he just was unplayable. So like the Cleveland players that all season was being, praised for like, hey, look at Don kind of spreading it around. Then in that game, Don shooting like 33 shots, hitting 13 of them. Like I don't have it exactly in front of me, but it's essentially terrible efficiency and just going back to bad Don. So credit to Pacers, and I wanted to start with that because really the Pacers, they're just like this is a championship. This is like a really, really great team.
Yeah, go ahead, say
this is the Pacers. They're just kind of here. I don't know. I don't get it. The Pascal Siakam averaged 17.8 points. He's the leading scorer. Like there's nobody over 20 points for this team. There's no team really taking over in a traditional sense, and maybe that's the new NBA. Maybe we just need 10 guys. No weak link kind of basketball.
No weak link. We just need 10 guys. AK's dream here.
It's everything.
No, I do got an analogy I was thinking about today that I think makes some sense for the NBA. This is current NBA, and why I think people have a hard time sort of relating to it. So we've all been playing Pokemon Go recently, and it does feel like the old NBA of the 90s, early 2000s is like the original Pokemon games. You had Mewtwo, Red. You had Mewtwo, you had Charizard, you had Gyarados. You were just sweeping everybody. It didn't matter. You were, running the Elite Four. You're beating every gym. Whereas now the Pokemon League is so strong, it's more about typing matchup. So you can have a Dragonite and you're kicking everybody's ass, but then somebody comes up with a fairy type Pokemon, and all of a sudden that Dragonite's not so tough. Yeah, Gardevoir, and she's just knocking you out. I think that's what we're seeing more and more in the league where, look at last year, right? Where you had the Wolves were sort of set up to beat Denver. Sorry, I just got something in my throat.
Beat Denver.
Oh. And then the tight matchup just didn't work against the Mavs. The Mavs were set up to beat them. And the same thing for then the Celtics, who then were set up to beat the Mavs. And it was just, the Mavs, who looked unbeatable against Minnesota, go out in 5 against the Cavs. We were all talking last year about this was potentially the NBA Finals in the Nuggets-Minnesota series, and then they looked human. So I think more and more the league is like that, where it's going to be about matchups, it's going to be about injuries, it's going to be about, hey, do you have a guy like Halliburton, who the Cavs didn't have anybody necessarily that could guard him. So then he's able to kind of run wild. Same thing with Siakam and Turner, and Nembhard, who could lock up their guys. And if you just have that 1 or 2 pieces that messes with them, that's it. You're seeing it in the Celtics series where Brunson he's just unguardable in the 4th, and that's something the Celtics really don't have, and it's a bad matchup for them in this series. So I think that's what we're seeing.
The other point with the Pacers is Nembhard and Halliburton are averaging 7+ assists a game, which I think is unheard of for a duo to be averaging that many assists. They're moving the ball, man, and they're a pretty good team. I still am not so. Dame didn't play around one, and I shouldn't even be saying this as someone who got to root for a team that didn't have to go up against Stephen Curry. but they're playing the team in front of them, but they're not like winning. They're not like taking over in a convincing fashion to be like, yeah, even though they did beat Cleveland in 5. I don't know, man. Like it just.
All right, but let's go to the next series, and then because of this series, we could talk on the still in play series of the Cavs or the Celtics Knicks. Do you trust the Knicks? Let's say, because I think the Knicks are going to eventually win this series, right? But at no point do I feel like they should have won the series, even when they were up 3-1. I'm like the Celtics have had a 20-point lead or a 14+ point lead in every game.
Games, right? Yeah,
every game, and somehow have lost and literally every game and have lost it or won close. Like it just doesn't make sense. I'm not convinced, and I feel like even if I was a neutral party, even though I do kind of root for Boston, a neutral party can look at that series and go, I don't see that New York is the better team, but look, they're winning the series. That's fine. So do you trust that team, that New York team, against a Pacers team that maybe, got some breaks? Joey, how do you feel? Because you've been the Knicks are bums.
You were pretty strong. I will call out Joey for
at least
being like, no,
in the Pistons series.
It's just gonna be Brunson.
I will go
Joey's
back.
Gonna leave now.
Officiating completely. I mean, save the Knicks, right? The Pistons won that series, and as far as I'm still considered. So, and sticking with the Central Division and our beloved Bulls here, the Pacers. I think I don't think either team has the ability to build like a 20-point lead, Knicks or Pacers. Neither one of them seem to have that kind of pedal down nonstop to where they're gonna, push it. So, if one team happens to build a lead, I would trust that the Knicks would be able to hold it and close out. Halliburton's been really good in the clutch.
Halliburton versus Brunson's gonna be awesome.
But he's been great in the clutch and like game-winning shots. He has been great in the clutch in terms of like bringing you back from that 8-point deficit with 2 minutes to go. It's kind of been that last minute kind of thing.
Yeah. 60 seconds.
Yeah. Brunson is that hey, we're up, the game's getting close, or we're down and it's close, and he just kind of takes over for 2.5-3 minutes, and before you know it, you're like, oh shit, we're about to win this game. I think they're going to be really low scoring affairs, and they're going to be kind of like slugfest. But I think in terms of matchup, when you go player by player on paper, they seem like they fit pretty darn good. Halliburton, Brunson, Siakam,
OG,
Turner, Towns, who guards Bridges, Nemhard, and then you've got Josh Hart
and Nesmith. Yeah,
where you put in a TJ McConnell on some of those Josh Hart minutes to just run around and be the energy guy and just chase them all around the court kind of thing.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be a good series.
I think it's gonna be one of those really good basketball. Yeah, kind of enjoyable to watch, but I think I would feel like I think I would trust the Pacers more in that series.
I'm going to be rooting for the Pacers.
I think they're just more consistent. The Knicks, even though yes, they've come back from those, they were still down 20 in those games, and it took the other team collapsing for them to win those games.
Yeah,
the Pacers just don't strike me as a team that is.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
They're not going to have those collapses.
And I don't know what it is, man. I think it's Cat, but whatever team he's on, I just start not liking that team. Man. I really wasn't. I didn't love Minnesota last year, even though Ant. I was I love Ant, but I just can't fall in love with this team. Now I love him. And I'm yeah, this is great. Even Rudy's rubbing.
All right,
yeah, you know what I mean. Randall's fine, but the Knicks now, the guys I like, Mikal Bridges, I just can't stand him. Josh Hart, I'd love to have him on my team. Don't want to look at his face.
It's fair.
I think depending on how the Knicks close out this series will help influence how I think about the next round against the Pacers.
If they don't win Game 6, how does that feel? I think they're winning.
Tough.
That's tough. They have to win Game 6 at home.
It's not a must win.
It's inexcusable.
It's 80% of a must win, I think. So
we were in Game 7 against Boston. We were watching the game, and obviously I'm sort of.
No,
I was just kind of. I kind of wanted it to be done. I was like, okay, let's just be done here. But they ended up winning. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But I was still saying these guys are eventually going to lose the series. And Michelle's just be positive. Who cares? And then I started thinking, I'm like, all right, but if they win Game 6, it's just I just think that changes everything. I think Game 6 is the series. I think the Knicks got to win it, and I know New York, it gets tight in there because if it starts to go a wrong way, those guys, Celtics are going to be loose. It's the other thing. I think the Celtics maybe are playing with like house money now.
They are. Derek White is on house money
to
the max right now. That dude's like, sweet. I'm just getting all the shots in the world right now. The ball's mine.
Why is it sometimes he looks like the best shooting guard in the league?
Yeah,
he'll hit 6 threes in a row in like 5 minutes. It feels like,
and I weirdly think Tatum not being there kind of opens up some doors. It gives
him all the action. It's him and Brown running all the action. And Derek White's a better shooter than Tatum.
Yeah. And it's not him trying to create a shot. It's more like Brown getting the penetration, kickouts, and now you have him shooting versus like these step backs that were kind of draining the offense there.
It's almost like your defensive mindset is, well, Tatum's out, which means Brown's going to be the one getting the majority of the action. So let's focus on him. And then here comes Derek White, and you're just like, well, he's got to miss at some point, right? Like, can't keep making. And then eventually you're like, oh shit, he's got 35, and what just happened? We lost by 20.
And if they have the stones to just not play Porzingis like they did in the second half, where they don't even try it, because he's been giving them nothing.
Said he can't breathe.
Yeah. I mean,
Mazzulla said he's going to play in Game 6.
Yeah, I think I actually do.
So weird.
I think start him.
The second half said he couldn't breathe, but he'll be ready for Game 6. Like,
I don't know what that means, man. I don't
think
there's
never been someone more apt to the nickname Unicorn than Kristaps Porzingis, right?
Never seen.
Like, is he actually here?
Oh,
wait, is that him? I think that's him. No, yeah.
I think if they, look, Cornette's not going to have that kind of game again. I don't think. It can't be possible, right? That can't happen again.
What was the 7 blocks, man?
7 blocks. I think he had 5 in 1 quarter. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
But if he plays solid, if Hauser can give him something, I won't be surprised if they force a Game 7. This would look like the Miami series all over again from a couple years ago, and then Tatum twists his ankle in the first couple of minutes, and they lose that game.
The thing, if the Celtics win this in 7, I kind of think I would lean Celtics against the Pacers.
You do?
Even without Tatum.
Man.
I think
depending on Porzingis, I don't know. They need to figure out their center situation because Horford's 38-9. He's got 5 kids, right? Porzingis is whatever illness he's on now. And Cornette, I guess you rely on Luke Cornette, but yeah, I don't know. They got to figure that out.
I feel like that's what people would think. And then it would be Indy going, no, this is our turn.
Yeah.
Your dude's not here. And they would kind of get him back.
But and then the Pacers would go without Dame. Darius and a little bit of Donnie and then no Tatum. And then they get to the finals. And they lose to Wolves in 5. So let's go.
Yeah, this is whoever's coming out of the West is winning this thing, man. Wolves in 5. Yeah. What else do we want to talk about? Any is that all on the playoff series? Nuggets.
One thing, any thoughts on Nuggets Thunder? Like, just from watching the series, I had a thought that I just wanted to get out. I thought the Thunder going into this were like this indestructible monster.
Yeah,
68 wins. Chet was one of the best prospects of all time, 5-star recruit, top 3 in the last 20 years.
Here it comes.
And he hasn't really been showing up, right? And they've been relying on guys like Luka Dort to hit like 3 back-to-back threes. Caruso's been on a level.
No, their bench has been awesome.
Been ridiculous. Jalen Williams hasn't really. He's been fine, but he's kind of been like what I thought in a way. I'm looking for him to kind of step up, and he hasn't. And Shea's been fine, so they just look beatable. Right, like on every level, they don't look like a 60. They look like a 58 win team, not a 60. It's just that's what it feels like. It's a little inflated. They're still good, but they just don't feel like that dominating kind of force of a team. So I'm really, if they close this out, I don't know, but
if they close this out, man. I don't know if I would pick Minnesota, but I feel like I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'd have to look at it. I might pick just for solidarity, but
we'll see. No, it's okay. You can get. We've been like even for the most time. It's good to. I think we'll talk about it.
I think sometimes if I did it out of solidarity, it would feel like I'm putting the jinx on him again. I
don't want to force you. This is your own decision.
All right,
you can do whatever you want.
Right, sorry, I feel like I should even take it back. I'll just see in 6.
Oh God damn it! No,
I can hate you.
You're dead.
Joey, does that ring any bells? Because I think that does sound right. Like they just don't seem like that. I don't know. I'm questioning them.
They look like a team who hadn't faced much adversity, obviously in the first round, or throughout the regular season. And now that they finally found a team that the game form, and also Jamal Murray has been like the Jamal Murray of the championship years. I don't know. They look like a team who is young, inexperienced, and getting outcoached in terms of like getting them up to play the game against a team who is obviously better suited mentally to go after them. And like the way that they're missing open shots and they go on these like cold streaks where they just miss for like, 3, 4, 5 minutes in a row. The good thing is their defense is helping keep them afloat in these games to where they can kind of find their way back to that shooting form. But I think Chris is right. They don't look unstoppable. They look tense. They look a little tight. Like they're not quite sure.
Too much to lose.
Like, like all the pressure is on them and they know it. And they're like, shit, we can't do anything stupid, because if we look stupid and we lose, then we're going to be stupid and losers. But we got to just like put it together, because like Shea hasn't been dominant. Like you wouldn't look at that and be like, wow, Shea has been like just carrying them. He's killing people. Like no, when they win games, it's everybody's, doing their part and they're winning these close games. So they definitely look beatable, but I feel like there's something in there at some point that's got to just come out. Like, I don't know what that level is if they get to the finals. Is it Western Conference Finals? Like what is the level where they feel like they've accomplished enough, quote unquote, enough, where they get back to like that loose kind of free flowing fun basketball?
Yeah. I'm curious because I don't know if that's going to happen. Is given who's left in the playoffs.
Sure.
Because I think you go up against Minnesota. That's a team that, like we've been saying, they've been there before. This is their second time. And that was last year. They're not going to be afraid of the moment. Ant's going to be ready to go. Maybe unlike he was last year. And if they're tight, that's going to be a problem. And I think if they get to the finals, they're not going to be playing a team that they're going to be like expected to, or like that people think are going to give them a real series, except for maybe the Knicks, unless like the Knicks, let's say that they swept Indiana or something, and all of a sudden look really good, and then people are like, okay, yeah, this could be real. But I think other than that, if the Pacers get there, it'll be expected to be a short series, and I don't know if they'll have that.
Yeah, the Pacers would just trounce them in round.
Yeah, then you're like, what is happening?
Wait, are the Pacers going to be the champs? Like,
but they do look like maybe the 22 Celtics, something like that, where they're just not quite ready for the moment.
Yeah.
It's just is there going to be anybody that can match them, and actually force them to face down that moment.
Minnesota, I think matchup wise, beat them 2-1 in the regular season. I think it was 2-1 or 3-1.
Signed, sealed, delivered. It's already over.
It's going to be a tough
Wolves in 5.
Wolves, I don't know, 5, man. That's quick.
Wolves in 6? Because they don't have home court this time.
Wolves
in 4. I could see the Wolves going into OKC in a game 7 and being just fine.
I mean, they did it last year, didn't they?
The stomach is not full. Okay, guys.
Yes.
I'm going to be saying that a lot now. My stomach is not full. Put on a shirt. Put on a t-shirt. Let's go.
Yeah, because if they go to a game 7, the Wolves will be like, well, yeah, we were down on the road 20 in game 7 and 1. We're not
didn't care at all. Against Jokic. Didn't care.
All right, now I want OKC. I was talking earlier, and
I mean, it's the next Infinity Stone in his collection, right? Like he's
got
to go get Shea. He's got to go get the MVP.
He
already got Jokic. He's already got him.
And then he can get Halliburton and Brunson next.
Yeah, right. Brunson would be it, probably a clutch player.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like, all right, took away the MVPs. Who's left? Oh, we got a clutch player over here. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think what people are talking about, I think I saw the meme going around. It was like Halliburton, Brunson, and Shea, and the meme is one of these guys is getting their first ring.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about too.
Well, it's undecided still, so.
It's undecided. No, Boston's in 7, so we're fine.
So you think? Wait, Ty. So I wanted to. I don't feel like I got fully. What do you think the Boston? Do you actually believe the Celtics can still win this series? Like, what's?
Yes,
what's the feeling?
I don't like. My brain tells me that the Knicks have 3 shots to beat them. Yeah, they missed on the first one, but they're going to have back-to-back shots to beat these guys. I don't think that they're going to mess that up. I think that New York should win this series. But if you're asking me, do I see an alternate reality? Have I done the Doctor Strange and saw all the realities? I think there's a way. There's the one way that the Celtics win.
There's only okay.
The one way is, I mean, if they just do what they did in Game 6. I mean, they've to me, I can't unsee the rest of this year. I just don't think the Celtics are the worst team. I don't, even without Tatum.
Like, I still don't think they're the worst team either.
Yeah,
to your point, they go up by 20 like every game. Yeah. They're the better team. It's just the Knicks. I don't know, man.
I mean, they put themselves in a hole, and like I don't know if they're gonna be able to dig themselves out. But if there's one team that can maybe do it, it's them.
So even though we were kind of making fun of Joey for saying it's not over, it's really. I don't really think it's actually over.
You just convinced us that it's not over. So
yeah,
because we'll see. Because Game 6 could be a blowout, and then it's like, okay, we were stupid. That was just a rally. When not in our house, as Bill Simmons was saying. There's that kind of moment for them, and they did it in the road. And it's like, all right, all the adrenaline was gone. Fine, but if they win Game 6, man, it's on. It's on.
They'll be shitting their pants a little bit.
Yeah,
Celtics win Game 6
because you think Cat is going to have a good Game 7 if they got there. You know,
don't need to bring Cat into this.
I'm so, like, but like,
oh my god.
That's the kind of guy that I can see having a meltdown. Oh my god!
No.
Seriously?
Oh my god.
He's a clutch. He's
a clutch.
He does stuff in the clutch. He's not like he does
stuff in the clutch. What stuff?
If he's
what
not
stuff does he do in the clutch?
He gets fouls.
No, if he doesn't commit a dumb foul, he can make the shot. Okay. He's made the shot before. He's made the right play to actually win the game.
He did beat
it's just
Pistons,
he does every other thing about him is so stupid. It's the most confounding player in the league.
I love how we asked you, what does he do in the clutch? And you said, if he doesn't get fouls in the clutch, he does good things.
But like he can make the right pass. I've seen him hit like bank threes to win
Chris,
games.
Let it go. He's not on your team anymore.
I know. I'm just saying. Like
he can't hurt you no more, Chris.
I still have to.
Let's just remember this when I defend Zach LaVine in like November next year about how amazing he is. Okay, Chris, I don't want to hear it.
This is like my Zach LaVine. Yeah. This is, and I'm not even that much of a Cat fan.
I don't want to hear.
I feel like I have to be because everyone's so against. It's like Rudy Gobert was really more my guy, but everyone's coming around to him now.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's cool to like Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, now it's cool again. That's cool. Great, guys.
Imagine a world where that happens.
July 8th. When everything changed.
He's not getting cooked by Luka.
He's not getting cooked by Luka.
He's suddenly screamed at, you can't guard me by Luka. So he's cool now.
Suddenly everybody's cool.
Guard him pretty well in round 1. I don't know, man. He had that steal and Jaden got the pass. Oh,
he had some moments.
This has been my favorite playoff.
You're living the dream over here, man.
Yeah.
But
so it's awesome.
I guess to get into our last topic, speaking of Luka and just crazy seasons in general, the chaos continues. I mean, I'm sure everybody listening to this pod is well aware of the NBA draft lottery results. Let's just go around the horn, guys. The Dallas Mavericks have the number 1 pick. Joey,
bring down the mood here.
What happened, man? Thoughts? Like, what was the reaction? What was going through your head?
I mean, you saw the reaction. I think I messaged you immediately as it happened. Said, "Fuck that, fuck that." I don't know. I had to argue with another parent in JD's class the other day about the fact that it's not rigged.
Yeah.
Okay.
So JD's best friend's parents are huge Bulls fans, used to be season ticket holders. Their parents, whatever. So I was like, "Hey, can you believe the Bulls have the 12th pick?" And some other parent jumped in and was like, "Oh, I stopped watching the NBA because it's rigged." And I was like, "Okay, how's it rigged?" And he's like, "Did they trade Luke?" And I was like, "Okay, let's just stop. Like, it's fun to think that it's rigged, right? It's a fun conspiracy. It's obviously not rigged.
It's kind of boring to think it's rigged.
It's boring to think it's rigged because, and also if you believe it's rigged, then we also have to accept the fact that Derrick Rose to the Bulls was rigged, and that kills all of the mystique. And
I know, but like
I thought it was.
That's the thing. This is such a complicated, like it's
a complicated weird subject.
Now, with the way that they promote gambling, like there is so much. There's obviously so much on the line here that if this shit was rigged, they would just. It's not.
Yeah, no. I know mentally it's not rigged, but
yeah,
in my heart,
it's fun to think about. What really sucks the most is like, I guess none of the other options were better.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Spurs would have been cool.
Did you want Cooper? Yeah. Did you want Cooper Flag to go to Utah?
No.
You want to go to Washington?
No.
Charlotte?
Yeah.
No. Charlotte maybe, because like I still believe like there's like this like bolt of like one good year of Charlotte at some point. Spurs obviously would have been super fun. The only thing that I think with that like kills is there's still like the dream that Giannis finds his way to like one of those teams.
Yeah.
But Dallas is just like after what happened with Luka, they're just like such an unlikable team. They're like now it's just gonna make them even more unlikable because like Nico Harrison's gonna parade it around like everything made sense and he did it for this. Like, and
I big brained you,
right? And that team's not gonna be good. Clay has got what 1 or 2 more seasons left before he calls it quits. Kyrie. Maybe 2 more seasons after this season. So you're going to say Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis take us to the promised land with Blake Lively?
I mean, you're going to get really good 40 games from Anthony Davis. So
I don't know. So like when you think about it that way, like it's obviously not that rigged because there's not like they're going to be that great. But none of the other options outside of San Antonio were really great. Toronto could have been kind of fun, maybe.
Yeah, that'd been interesting.
Would have been okay.
Philly would have sucked.
Philly would have sucked. Philly would have made me more upset. I actually would have been more annoyed if if the first pick went to Philly, because I feel like they actually still have a chance to like do something with what they have, and he might have been a piece that did it. I don't know. I sent that picture about the Bulls, right? They lost the coin flip. If Giddey would have missed that half court buzzer beater.
Those were the numbers.
And then honestly, the more I thought about it, it took me like 15 minutes after I screenshotted that to send it to you guys because I was like, how do I feel about this? Would I rather have Cooper Flag, or would I rather have the Bulls beating the Lakers twice in like 4 days? And I was like, well, there was still no guarantee, right? Nothing. You never know. Hindsight's 20/20. So I take my hat.
I don't think the Bulls deserve Cooper Flag either. I hate the way that organizations. They're one of the most. I think the only one worse really is.
But did that dumbass deserve him?
I know, right? Yeah,
it might have made the Bulls worse in the short term. Honestly, it might have found a way to be a worse team.
That's like going to the point about I wanted to talk about the rigging thing.
Yeah.
Why would they want to rig it for Dallas? Like they would know the media backlash if Dallas had the pick. Nobody would like that. Why? Just because they traded Luka to LA. It just feels weird. They're like, now let's give them to Dallas. And it's like, there's so many better teams to give Cooper Flag to.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm with you guys. I know it's not rigged. This was the first time where I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
Yeah.
Where I was like, this is the first time where I was like, I don't know, is it rigged? I know it's not. I had to like talk myself back. I think the one thing I'm still waiting on, I feel like there's one shoe to drop, and that's if LeBron announces his retirement going into next season. Ooh. Then I'm going to go 100%. They were like, hey, dude, do us a solid. Trade Luka here.
Well, even so, we know he's going to retire in the next 2 or 3 years, right? Yeah.
No, I know. But there was only – as it was happening, I was like, I honestly, I thought it was the Spurs because I think we had like the Final Four, and I was like, oh my God, the Spurs are gonna fucking get it. And then when I saw the Spurs get 2, I was like, you got to be shitting me, man. It's the Mavs. This was bigger to me than the trade because like the trade, at least to me, like kind of made sense.
No, the trade was still crazier to me.
This was crazier to me.
I'll never forget that moment.
This was my Luka trade. I was like. That can't be real life.
You know what's even crazier is the fact that the Sixers got the 3rd pick.
Yeah.
Like if it fell out of the top 7, it would have been to OKC. But somehow the Sixers get to keep it. That feels like it could have been rigged too, right? Like
that actually feels more rigged. The whole thing's rigged.
The whole thing's rigged. No, it's not rigged.
I just wish because did you hear like Chris Mannix was on Rosillo's pod?
Yeah,
he was talking about how like he's in the room where it happens.
Yeah. When you start hearing how it actually happens.
Yeah, and it's like okay, I guess how Mannix put it makes it sound like it could never happen. Cool, show me that then.
Yeah,
exactly. Put that on TV. Yeah. Let me see the videos and let me see all the ball. Like let me see everything to see that this is no way being rigged. Because the way he described it is very convincing. Let me see that then. Like why can't I? Why is this in a private room? You know, and like they know for 10 minutes before everybody else finds out. Like I don't understand. Like just show it.
Like, let me see that there's no way that you could possibly determine which of these balls get bounced up into the thing. Right. Show me the guy turned around facing the other way. Everything.
Yeah.
The thing that like sucks the most for me is at some point in like every fan's fandom, like you're probably going to find yourself a fan of a team that like does what Utah did or does what Washington did and just is so bad, or like what the Pistons did for like 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
And they're just going to continue to get screwed by this whole lottery odds.
I do want to talk about this too.
It's like, God, could you imagine if you were a Utah fan and you had to suffer through that season of how bad it was, thinking, all right, we've got a 40%. Again, there's still 86% chance that we don't get this pick, but you're thinking in terms of everything else,
yeah,
like we have the best shot.
I guess when you say it like that, it's
right. We have a 40% chance of getting the pick. Well, that means you have an 86% of not getting it, but like still, you're like, well, that's the best of anybody. And then you have to watch yourself be like, oh, here's whatever they got, 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. It's like
that would suck.
It's like what the Pistons is right last year. Like the Pistons suffered through the worst loser streak in NBA history, and then it was like, oh, here's pick number 6. It's like, okay, God, that's.
Jarvis Thompson's pretty good, but
yeah, he is right, and you're going to luck into some of those sometimes. But like in a draft like this, where it's like this is the difference between us turning this around in 2 years or us turning around in 10 years, and it's got to be.
You know what you got to do though is you got to wake up. Go for a run and realize you live in Utah and you have the best fans in the world. I don't know if you guys saw the CEO, the owner of the Utah. That's what he was saying. Yeah, it was so.
But like,
okay.
I mean, I get that, but for every team like that, there's a Spurs. You know what I mean? Who got Wembanyama? Who got Tim Duncan? It like to me, I go, it's a roll of the dice, but I would always take the roll. And I think I'm one of the big proponents of be in the lottery. And I'm not necessarily saying you have to be the worst team in the league, but I think you always have to be, if you're not going to win the title or not like building towards winning the title, once you know it's done, you need to get bad fast and you got to hope the balls bounce your way. That's it.
Coming from the guy who won't even go to Vegas with us, and he's talked about rolling the dice here and gambling it all away.
Yeah, he won't bet on Siete with us. But
he won't bet 7 with us, but he's rolling the dice in everybody else's future.
I kind of disagree with you, Titus, only because I think the Pacers are kind of proving that out with not having like any lottery picks in their starting lineup. Ben Math was I think a 5th overall pick. Halliburton was at 11 or 14 or 11. Oh, yeah, he was a lottery pick. He was out of the top 10.
I mean, the Pacers front office has got to be commended here for being extremely intelligent.
I think that's the Bulls are trying to be like, hey, we're like the Pacers. We can be like them.
In an ideal world.
But the Pacers were willing to trade away their star and Sabonis.
Yeah. And Paul
to be fair, we all thought that trade was bad. We're like, I can't believe they traded Sabonis for Halliburton. Like they should have got De'Aaron Fox.
I thought I remember being a little bit on the Kings. Like, why did the Kings give up on Halliburton?
I like it for both sides. Yeah. I thought it was a great trade both ways.
I was thinking about that trade the other day. I was like, man, can you believe Halliburton is this good? But no, but like that's the kind of thing I'm saying. Like as an organization, you have to do one of two things. You have to trade for like a good prospect, or you have to draft one.
You've got to be willing to try.
Willing to try.
Wrong. I mean, and they went out and got Siakam.
Yeah,
and they extended him right away, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna trade." I mean, they made the moves
and then signed him to a contract that seemed way too high. And it's actually been great,
and they've kept Miles Turner, which everybody was like, can't keep him. You got to trade him at some point. And they've kept him, and it's maybe finally going to pay off.
Dude, seeing how scarce centers are, the Rudy Gobert trade just makes sense. Bringing it back.
Here we go. Right? Full circle.
Full circle.
Just saying, I like trade Miles Turner. I'm sure they tried, but like they're like, no, there's nobody like this else. There's no stretch big in the league.
Yeah, like we got
Miles Turner. Like, what do you mean? There's like
gotta keep
3 of this guy.
There's one other.
One of them's always hurt.
One last thought I had on the Cooper Flag thing to Dallas. Yeah. I am a little bummed for him personally, because I don't think the fan base is going to embrace him the way that every other fan base would have. Because I think it's going to be this is a consolation prize.
That'll be so interesting to watch.
Consolation prize for losing our beloved Luka.
And I think it's going to take a while. And if he's not like immediately great, fans are going to be like, this sucks. Oh my God, this guy's he's a bum. What a bust.
He's got a lot of pressure.
Can't believe he did this. And I think you could tell because I don't think he was psyched to go there.
I thought he looked maybe not.
I mean, I think he looked like
okay, I'm going to Dallas.
Dallas.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
But yeah, for him,
he's never going to be compared to his potential. He's going to be compared to Luka.
He probably was bummed because he could have gone to San Antonio. Imagine playing with Fox and Wemby. That's the perfect rookie spot.
This would have been awesome. But like, imagine he goes to Washington, right? You know, we talk about that. He's instantly a hero.
Right.
Or Utah, welcomed on a red carpet. Here we go. Here's our savior. And at Dallas, it's just like
flag too in DC. That would have been perfect.
Exactly.
Oh,
flag in DC. Come on, man.
Yeah,
it's a good point.
Yeah, a little bummed for him on that side, but
if he lives up to it, I mean,
don't
forget about Luka real quick.
And if Luka keeps getting bounced in the first round,
I mean, they can.
One time he was in the finals last year. Dude. People are keeps getting bounced in the finals. The guy was in the fucking finals. Like, what are you talking about?
And then he got traded and bounced in the first round
with LeBron.
With LeBron, he had LeBron on his team.
Hey, the Mavs could always trade Anthony Davis, so you know.
Honestly, if I was the Mavs, man, I'd be like, I would take this gift. Kyrie's hurt.
Absolutely.
Thank you for. I go. All right.
Who wants?
We got our guy. We got our defensive-minded guy.
Hey, Milwaukee, you want Anthony Davis and anybody else on the roster?
Yeah.
For Giannis, picks whatever you want, take them.
No, I know we should probably save it, but like if Giannis talk, if I was OKC, man, I'd be pulling the trigger. I don't care win or lose this year.
I think that's gonna happen.
I think so too.
I think because I like to think that Minnesota's gonna beat OKC. Let's just it hasn't nothing decided yet, but let's just say that happens.
If that happens for sure,
Giannis, you gotta do that, right?
Like, Giannis isn't going to go though. I think they're going to do whatever. I think they're going to make sure that he goes somewhere he wants to go, and I don't think he's going to say, "I want to go to Oklahoma City."
Well, he said he likes states with no income tax, and I don't know much about Oklahoma, but I imagine they probably don't have. I don't know.
I have a lot of stuff over there, but
I also think he wants to go to a big market near a population of people that appreciate the European style of basketball.
Oklahoma might not be the place for him.
Correct.
But if I was Oklahoma,
I would call and I would say, what do you want?
And whatever else you guys want.
Yeah, here's the menu. Here's the items that are out of stock for today. Shea, Chet.
Yeah. Chet, I think Chet would be the deal, and I think I'd be fine.
Well, whatever you want. Scratch off a few items that are 86 and everybody else, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Place your order when ready,
man.
So by the time we pod next week, the conference finals will have begun.
Yes.
I don't even know. We can't make predictions yet though? We should just
we maybe want to let's see what happens tonight, and maybe we could talk offline about maybe setting up a quick predictions pod or something early in the week or something. We'll see what's going on. We'll reconvene.
Undecided.
Undecided. Up in the air. It's up in the air, guys. It's a series.
Like the last two series.
We might have 2 series going 7.
We were making fun of you about that, and then we came to the end of this. It's like, you know what? It's kind of if Boston wins Game 6,
because
that's a big if, right? That's a big if.
The Knicks.
Fuck the Knicks. On that note, fuck the Knicks, guys. That is it for us tonight. Follow us on social media at the Box Up Boys. Slide in those DMs. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on YouTube and Spotify. We very much appreciate that. So for the boys, until next time, box out.